Hi, welcome to the latest edition of Ragic Office Hour, and let's do a recap of our latest function first. Okay, today's function is quite simple but quite important, has been asked by a lot of our users, and it's the send custom text message function. So if you go to the design mode of a sheet, let's say we go to a demo sheet, employee sheet, and if you go to the design mode and you go to the form tools, and you can find the send custom email function, instant messages. So it's under the form tools menu and instant messages, send instant message. The thing is that if you click on this, and for the first time, it's going to ask you to apply for approval to send these kind of instant messages, because we want to avoid spammers using Ragic to send out like spam text messages. And actually we get that quite a lot. We spend quite a bit of effort to avoid these spammers using Ragic to send out all these phishing text messages or phishing emails. So if you're going to send out instant messages, you're going to fill out an approval form first. And after it's approved, you'll see a screen like this, and you will be able to send out SMS text messages and create action buttons to send out custom SMS messages. And right now, all the message type that we have is SMS, but in the future we will be supporting other types of instant messages like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. We will be adding more, or Telegram. We'll be adding more and more other types of link to the record. So yeah, there are lots of things, dynamic items you can add to your text message. But before you send out these text messages, you'll need to purchase text credits to send out these messages. And behind this, we're using Twilio to send text messages. So basically, the credits they're at the same price as sending out text messages via Twilio directly. Okay, and the advanced configurations are pretty much the same as the custom email advanced configurations. So, and on the recipient field, you should have the phone numbers in the international format, because we do support sending text messages to different countries. So we will need a country code in the email, in the recipient field. So when you're managing phone numbers on your sheet, remember to have them in the international mobile phone number format with a plus at the front and the country code at the front. All right. So please feel free to try this out, and if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to assist you with this. And we will be adding more features to the sending out text message and this send instant message function in the future, to send out all kinds of other types of instant messages. All right, and let's get back to the questions. Okay, today we only have one question from our users. Mass action queue. Okay, do you have a plan to implement mass action queue? To optimize our process and working time, we've gave some users access to import and mass action features. And now we face the issue that mass action engine is frequently busy. Yeah, we have a check to make sure that, because these mass actions can take a lot of system resources. So we need some kind of mechanism to make sure that any single individual account is not executing a lot of mass actions at the same time to use up all the resources on the server, because in any case, a server resource is not indefinite. So if any one account execute a lot of mass actions that, actions that may take up a lot of system resource, it's gonna affect the performance of other accounts on the same server if a lot of accounts do that. And yeah, so users have to wait until the engine is free and then perform their actions. What becomes problematic on the business, on the end of a business day, becomes because some mass actions can take up to 30 minutes or even more, like mass approval, okay? Yeah, mass approval sometimes takes a while, especially if you have some workflow written for these approval steps. So the action queue is the very best solution in my opinion. We'll be very glad if you do so. So having an action queue, actually a lot of times we have a queue. We already have a queue mechanism inside of Ragic for a lot of functions to make sure that not everything is executed at once so that it's affecting other things that's happening in your account, like affecting other users in your account or other accounts on the same server. So we already do have a queue for this, but for mass actions, they are not in a queue. Instead, yes, we ask users to wait until the previous action is done. And yeah, I think it would make sense to queue these mass actions. But sometimes what we worry about is if you add too many mass actions to the queue, it's gonna clog up the queue so that you're gonna wait a very long time. For your next mass action to execute, because sometimes when your account is large and some users, they get very impatient, so they just keeps on executing the same thing over and over again and to see if they get the same result. So if we're gonna implement an action queue for this, we have to kind of take this into consideration and see if we can avoid the same users putting many actions into the same action queue, clogging up the whole action queue. But I do think this is a good idea, taking advantage of the fact that we already have an action queue which has not been applied to mass actions. All right? Thank you for your feedback. Ragic actually does have a queue mechanism to avoid too many resource intensive functions to be executed at the same time. This has now been applied to mass actions. Actions so that users can still execute it and not needing to wait and retry themselves. Yeah, I guess it would work better this way so that they don't have to keep going back to the same function and see if the queue is nobody else is doing that, and you just put your action in the queue and wait for it automatically. That would be a bit better for the users. Yeah, I think we're likely to find a solution for this. All right, and that's it for the Ragic Office Hour webinar today. And thank you for joining in. If you have any other questions, please feel free to use the Office Hour question sheet, and I will be answering your question in 2 weeks. All right, thank you and goodbye.